So, this story is a second take on this wife of the ex's best friend, and this happened. I think it was over New Year's, or I think it was over New Year's. But anyway, the ex-husband had a cabin, and so there were probably about maybe 4 or 5 couples invited, and at that time, I think my son was about oh I think it well, no, maybe about maybe 6, 7 months. And anyway, so I think this kind of made me realize that this lady and I were not friends. We were not friends at all. Or anyway, maybe on my side I thought we were friends, but I don't think we were friends on her side. So once again, here we are, and all through this, after she said what she did the first time, I just kind of avoided her, and the ex-husband basically said, well, so and so is my best friend, and you're just gonna have to get over it because he's my best friend. I've known him, all my life. So you and his wife just have to get over it, you know. So my way of dealing with it was to pretty much, be cordial, but I didn't have much to do with her after that, and didn't talk to her much either after that. But so this was probably, that New Year's was probably the closest I've ever, ever been in contact with her since the incident. And so anyway, so I think I had gone downstairs to check on. No, I hadn't gone downstairs. For some reason, both she and I were the only ones, and we ended up downstairs in the basement. And, you know, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's my memory, or maybe I forget, move on, and put it out of my mind, because I was sucked into one of those private conversations again with her. And I think after the first time, I decided, I wasn't going to get into any serious conversation with her. But so this time around, and I have a feeling too that she kind of set me up, because I don't know. I don't know whether, other friends talked to her about what she'd said or what happened, but I felt like it was kind of retaliation from her, from all the bad press she probably got from friends and maybe even her husband, who knows what, right? But I just felt like after the whole thing, I felt like she was trying to put me at the negative instead of her at the negative for what she said. So anyway, we're downstairs and talking, and she says to me, she says, I really have to say, you just had a kid, and you are right back into shape. You've gotten into shape so fast. I really admire you. You've really taken off the baby weight, and it's like you never had the kid. So, so I said, you know what? Losing weight isn't about anybody else. It's about yourself. If you lose weight, you have to do it for yourself. You can't do it for anybody else, because I think if you really lose weight for somebody else, then it's not going to stay, because you're trying to please other people, and you realize you can't please other people. You have to be comfortable within yourself. If you're comfortable at the size you are, why lose weight? And actually, I think I lost the weight pretty fast, because I wasn't working anymore, and it was just me and the kids. So and we had 2 dogs at the time. So and I was the major person who walked the dogs, or you know I take them for jogs, and so we just kind of developed a routine where I would probably jog once a day, about 45 minutes to an hour, and then for lunch, take them for a walk, and at nighttime, take them for another walk. So, and I was pretty lonely back then. Yeah, I was pretty lonely. So it's usually just me, the dogs, and the kid, you know. So one of my entertainment was, you know, going for walks, you know. So anyway, so after I said that, I said, you know, you can't lose weight for anybody but yourself. You have to do it for yourself. And she says to me, what? You think, oh, let's use the name Tony again. You think Tony doesn't love me because I'm fat? Is that what you're saying? That Tony doesn't love me because I'm fat? And I'm like, oh my God, where'd she get that from? I'm like, what? I was like, no, I didn't say that. I said, you have to lose the weight for yourself. But she just got all upset and stormed upstairs and told the group, the whole group standing there, that I called her fat. I'm like, what? Not only did I call her fat, but I think that her husband doesn't love her because she's fat. I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm trying to play damage control because it's spiraling out of control pretty fast, you know, and I realized that, and I'm like, no, I didn't say that, you know, and I am, you know, I realized we're all drinking, and, you know, I got sucked into one of those conversations I didn't want to have again, and here I am at the end of her creations, you know. So anyway, everybody's pretty upset. The next day we're all supposed to go skiing together, right? And I'm thinking, how are we gonna go skiing together with this over our heads, you know? Because the group once again split up, and there's, I think the ex friend, the ex husband's best friend was there with I think another guy, another pretty close friend, and his wife, and you know there were probably about maybe 4 or 5 of us in the kitchen. And anyway, my son starts crying, and I think it's about time to feed him or something like that. You know, I don't remember what, but my ex-husband's holding him at the time, and you know, and they're all looking at me with condemnation, you know, condemning me for something I didn't say, you know. I truthfully, I could care less what she looked like. You know, I don't have to live in her body, so, and I'm not her husband, so, you know, what are you looking at me for? I'm not going to tell you, you know, how to be, because you have to live with yourself, not me, you know. So anyway, my son starts crying, and I reach for him, and I'm like here, you know, give me the kid. I have to go feed him. And ex-husband says, no, I'm not gonna give him to you because you're drunk. I'm like, what? I said, no, I'm not. I'm like, come on, give the kid to me. And he like turns away and like pulls him away like that. And I lost it. Because, you know, I don't know, the kid's crying, and that maternal instinct to, and he's crying, and he's reaching for me, and he wants to come to me, right? That maternal instinct, I don't know what it was, but all of a sudden, has my ex-husband's pulling him away from him, I just took my right hand, I give him a right hook right in the chin, and and after I did this, I realized, oh my God, I just hit my husband. And not only is that bad, but I hit him in front of, you know, 3 or 4 of his male friends and his brother, you know. And I'm thinking, no, I really made things bad, you know, because not only am I being accused of calling somebody fat, but I've hit my ex in front of all these people, you know, so that makes it even worse. You know how men are with their pride. So anyway, I guess that startled him, and I got my son back. But the next day, the next morning, we all went skiing, and but before we went skiing, the best friend came up to me and said, "You know what? You need to apologize to my wife because you called her fat. You need to apologize to her." I'm like, "What? She can use racist terminology in front of me?" And by the way, she never did apologize for that. but she can, be racist in front of me in a group of our friends, and she thinks I called her fat, but I'm supposed to apologize to her. Racism, weight, I mean, which is which has more weight, and I was like, no, no, I'm not going to. I first of all, I did not call her fat. Second of all, I'm not going to, you know. And I didn't say it, but I'm thinking in the back of my mind, she didn't apologize to me for, you know, what she said, So no, I'm not going to apologize to her. But the funniest thing is after that, the ex-husband and the friend remained really close, but we didn't do very much together again. And yeah, that was odd. But anyway, this next story is about bus drivers. At the school bus company I worked at, almost every white person, and I was the only black person too at the time working there, but every white person had to come up to me and tell me how they felt about black people and how we're bringing down we're bringing down the economy because we're all on welfare and we're all draining the economy of its wealth because of us. And so anyway, there was this one driver, female driver. She's probably about 5'8", kind of heavy set. Um, uh, she'd always joke me. I used to, I still do, but we used to sometimes crochet together, and she'd always call me a hooker, and that really pissed me off, because although I know she was referring to the crochet hook, on the other hand, her personality, she was doing more than referring to the crochet hook, and that's the thing is I wasn't displaying myself as a hooker. I wasn't flirting or in any way, involved with any of the male drivers there. In fact, at the time, I wasn't even dating anybody, and I was still trying to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses again. So anyway, one day she had a huge split. I think she had like a 5-hour split, and I had a split also. But one day, I think I'm at that day I was probably crocheting. But anyway, she had the television on, and she loved to watch Maury Povich. And during that time, Maury always had a lot of black women on, and they were always fighting over some guy, baby mama drama, and doing the DNA test and blah blah blah. Anyway, so we were watching this show, and all of a sudden she turns to me and she says, "You know what, Leah? You know," she says, "You know what? I don't know what it is about you black women, but you guys are all fat and nasty looking, and you think every man wants you." And she's using the whole, stereotypical black head shake thing too. She's like, "You think every man wants you? You guys think you're so hot and you're all fat and nasty." And she's going on and on. And once again, I'm in shock, so I can't say anything, no words. I mean, what can I say when somebody says something like that? But I'm thinking, one, I don't know what you're telling me for. I'm not fat. And so anyway, she goes on, and fortunately, there was a driver next to me, and the driver says, you know, these shows are specifically geared towards putting people in a bad light, whether they're white or black on the show, but mostly the black people on Maury Povich, stereotypical. They were always stereotypically loud, stereotypically had, baby mama dramas and who's the father dramas and whatever. And so he's like, there's no reason for you to say something like that to her because you're only going by what you're seeing on television, and she is nothing like, the people geared towards TV that you see on these programs. And anyway, so at that same time, like right after, one of the managers was sitting in an office, you know, not too far away, and he came out and he said, yeah, he says, that was totally inappropriate. We don't need that here. And in fact, he turned off the TV. And she never did apologize for that. But that's the thing is, I think when you are the only, and I'm sure it's probably has a lot to do with my being the only female, not only the only black person, but female, because I think people feel like they can more, tell women how they feel more so than a guy, because they just might get a beat down if they do it to a black man, right? But that's one of the things I noticed is that everything was all about, they just, as if, well, and this is the thing, I was going to say as if I don't know about myself. No, I do know about myself. The racist crap they were telling me, I knew wasn't true, I mean, because I'd have, especially the men, they'd like to come up and talk to me about the economy and how we're draining the economy. And so finally, I got so sick of it that I did this research. And the research shows that there are more white people on welfare, food stamps, or whatever than black people. And for sure, one of the reasons why is I think at the time it might have changed, but I think at the time the white race was about 51% in America, and the black race was like either 28, 30, I think either 32% or something like that. And then you subtract the amount of, incarcerated African Americans, and that makes it even less people in the mainstream society that have access to welfare or food stamps or whatever. And so yeah, that and I remember growing up, my mom had a friend, and a white friend. She was a witness also, and she was telling my mom that if she ever needed, that what she normally did was she went in with the black, anyone that she knew that needed food stamps, because her being there and her basically, like, her whiteness, she could tell whoever was administering food stamps or whatever aid they needed. She could say, no, this is what you give, you know, white people, and this is what they're going to get, because when it came to black people, when they go to through the welfare system, they get less dollars than white people do. But anyway, so yeah, that was really kind of give me an insight. Well, for one thing, it reinforced in my mind that white people don't see blacks as individuals. That's why they always say, oh, aren't you, they may always mistaken you for somebody else, because we all look alike. And why do we all look alike? Because we're not individuals. So, you know, I remember even one time at a witness convention, this sister was walking by me, and she stopped me and she says, "Oh, aren't you?" I'll just use some fake name. "Aren't you Yvonne?" And I said, "No." I said, "I think you have the wrong person." And she's like, "No, no, you're Yvonne, right? Yeah, you're Yvonne, right?" And I was like, "No, no, my name isn't Yvonne. I'm." And then I told her my name, and I'm trying to walk away, and she's like, "No, you're Yvonne." And I'm like, "Oh my God." I felt like saying, "What? How many times have I told you my name is not Yvonne? I don't know you. Nice to know you, but I don't know you. But she insisted that I must be this person. I'm like, "No, I'm not." And that made me realize even more so, though, that we are not seen as individuals. We are seen as, you know, I'm always mistaken for the only black female that they know, and that kind of got annoying. But yeah, I cannot, kind of try to not get angry at it anymore though, because I realize that I cannot control people. I can only control myself. I cannot control their thoughts, but I can only control my thoughts and keep it positive, whether or not they see me as a person, that's their problem. I think if you don't take time to get to know a person, or if you don't see people as individuals, then you miss out on probably getting to know a really nice person. But then it shows you something about humans is that we like to categorize because probably, I mean, this is how I feel about it, because we're too lazy to take the time and effort that it takes to get to know somebody. So if you get to know somebody, it takes time. You have to spend that time to get to know them, to find out about their likes, their dislikes. But I notice that, especially when I'm talking to white people, I will say one thing, and from that one thing I've said, they have categorized me into this type. And that was really hard because, because I tend to be moody. Like sometimes, like, okay, so about, let's say, chocolate. I don't like chocolate. But if I'm desperate, and I love sweets, I love less sweets, but I like hard candy. But if I'm desperate for sugar and chocolate's the only thing around, I will eat chocolate. But so I remember I said this to this one sister. I said, "Yeah, I don't like chocolate," and she's white. I said, "Yeah, I don't like chocolate," and she says, "I just saw you eating a piece of chocolate, though." I said, "Yeah," and she says, "But you don't like chocolate." I said, "Yeah." So I guess, you know, after that I realized I kept having to clarify myself with her and others because yes, I don't like chocolate, but once in a while, if there isn't anything else that's sweet around, I will eat chocolate. So what? It doesn't mean I'm a liar. It doesn't mean I've lied because I said I don't like chocolate. Yes, I will eat chocolate. If I really need something sweet and chocolate's the only thing around, I will eat chocolate. So, so, you know, and even, but all through my time in Idaho, I kept have to clarify myself. It's not that I don't, it's not that I'm lying. It's just, today I don't like peanut butter. Tomorrow I might like it. The day after, I may not like peanut butter again. And what happens is that, especially with certain things, I eat it so much. Like, I'll have a craving, and then all I do, like, I will do is I will eat lettuce or, salads. That's all I eat. And then when I'm done with that craving, I won't eat salads. But doesn't mean anything except that, I guess that I'm moody, and if I'm in one mood, I might like something. If I'm in another mood, I may not. Anyway, so that's my little take.